Hi everybody, my name's Sam. Welcome to my channel Frugalisama, where I talk about all things sewing. Today I'm just going to have a quick catch up of everything that I made in September. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who's subscribed so far, and if you would like notifications of new videos, if you click the subscription bell below, it will tell you when I've brought new videos out. I'm doing 100 days of sewing, which is hints and tips. And then I'm doing little videos like this, which reviews and plans and makes. So my September makes have mostly been focused on the work from home module, the little challenge that Whitney from Tomcat Stitchery has set. If you don't know anything about the work from home module, the module is where you make 2 bottoms, 3 tops and a topper, and the topper can be a coat or a cardigan or a jumper or a wrap, I suppose. So in my August plans, I had planned to make the Ariel as a skirt, the 4-in-1 trousers, and those are my bottoms, Plantain top from Deer and Doe, the Mellow shirt from Deer and Doe, and the Cali shirt. So if you saw my autumn plans video, you will know that those are the things that I'd planned to make as part of the module, and I was a little bit undecided as to what to make for the coat. So my original plan was to make the 4-in-1 trousers in a denim, and then if I had enough left over, I was going to toile the Ariel in a cord, and if I had enough of the denim left over, then I was going to make the Ariel in the denim as well. But after I made the 4-in-1 trousers as a toile of this curtain fabric, a very sexy curtain fabric, I realised actually that with all these pleats at the top, it really would have been too much bulk at the waist in a denim. So I changed my plans a little bit and made it out of a nice wool. I'll just bob in some footage of me wearing the curtains, the curtain lining as a toile, and I'll show you what they look like. But essentially, you can see from the picture here, they're quite high-waisted, they're a paper bag waist, and they were just ridiculously high on me. I'm quite long, I'm 5'8", but most of my length is in my legs, although I wouldn't have said it was disproportionately waist-wise, but you can see in the pictures that it just makes me look like I've got a really short body and I'm all legs, and I struggled a little bit with these trousers for that reason. There's only finished garment measurements on this pattern, and it's in centimetres, and I am used to working in inches. So I went for the waist size 89 centimetres, which I think converts to 35 inches, simply because there was no guidance of how much ease was supposed to be in. There's lots of ease around the hips because of all these pleats that are in it. So I went for a size 16. The other problem with this pattern is that the sizes are in 2 lots. So you've got size 6 to 14 on one pattern piece, and then size 16 to 22 on another pattern piece. So if you were between sizes, you couldn't grade. So I went for the 16 to start off with, and as you can see in the inserts, they were huge on me. They were absolutely huge on me. So I went down to a 14, and this is what we've got. So I ended up making them in a wool that my daughter-in-law had bought to make a shirt with, and it is an absolutely beautiful wool. I think it was about £7 a metre from Fabworks. Quite difficult to show on screen, but I'll show you me wearing them as well. So you've got all these pleats around here, and then you've got this slash pocket here, which I just did in a lining on the inside. So although they are wool, it's quite a fine wool. Probably, I want to say it's a worsted, but it's not. I'm not very good with what wools are. So you've got a fly zip, and then just a hook and bar at the top, and you've got 2 pleats at each side at the front, so 4 pleats at each side at the front, and then 2 pleats at each side at the back, so another 4 at the back. And the waist just folds over to form the waistband. it's cut double, and you fold it over. So what I did is I cut my second pair to the length on the pattern, and actually folded the waist to where the pleats ended, and then just cut the excess off. So I think there's about 2 inches excess. I'll just show you the difference here. It's about, I reduced it by about 1 inch, so there just weren't that flaring, which it just wasn't doing anything for me at all. You've got to try these things, haven't you? They're cropped length. The view that I went for was a tapered leg. Hand stitched the hems. I just turned them up once and hand stitched the hems. I just prefer that finish on a wool trouser. I don't particularly like to see the stitching on the hems. It depends what you're making, I suppose, because there's quite a lot of top stitching in this. So all the pleats are top stitched down, and then the slash pockets are top stitched as well. So it probably wouldn't have looked out of place, but it's personal preference, isn't it? So not much to say really. Navy blue trousers, quite a safe bet for me. I wear a lot of blue, as you'll see in the next bit of footage. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with them. I love how they feel. They feel quite luxurious. They really are comfortable, but I have struggled a little bit to find something to wear with them. I'm just struggling a little bit to style them. It's because they're so high-waisted. When I've made the Mellow and the Plantain and tried them on, I'm finding that I'm getting too much volume above where the trousers finish. So I probably need a bit of help on deciding what to make for my third top. Although it was going to be the Calais, when I've tried them on with the Calais, I'm not so sure really. So the Calais is the Closet Core Patterns shirt dress pattern, which I made 3 times already. So I was able to try the short version on with these trousers and the Ariel that I've made, just to see what the style looked like, and then make a decision as to whether I want to continue making a Calais to go with it. This is the fabric that I was going to make the Calais with. So this is like a Liberty print. Bought it off our local market and paid £8 a metre for that, so whether it's Liberty or not, I'm not sure. It feels like it to me. It feels lovely, and it would look really nice with that. Bring a bit of colour into the module. But I've been tried on lots of different outfits, which I'll show you later. I just can't decide whether I want to just make a Calais with this fabric anyway, and not include it in the module. But I really do want to make it part of this module. So what I'm looking for really is a fitted shirt that's more fitted than the Mellow, and the Mellow is more fitted than the Calais. The second make is the Ariel skirt, which is a Tillian button skirt. And if you remember, both the 4-in-1 trousers and this skirt, they were given to me from a friend who was destashing, I suppose you call it, because she was moving house, and I was very lucky to receive these patterns. And I wanted to twirl it in this it's almost a gold corduroy, old gold corduroy. Is it mustard? I don't know. Wanted to check out, with it being an extremely fitted skirt, I wanted to check the fit in this because it only cost me £1 a yard, I think, before I went on to making it in the denim, because obviously denim's not very forgiving, and this is a very fitted skirt. And I cut a size 5, and it was a little bit tight on the waist, and as always with Tilly's patterns, a bit big on the hips. I think she'd asked for a pear shape, and I'm certainly not. So I sewed the waist at 3/8 of an inch, and then came into about 7/8 of an inch over the hips, but still cut a size 5, and I got around it that way. I'll just flip it inside out and show you my fancy lining. This lining was an absolute beast to work with. It's a bit of viscose, and it's perfect as a lining, but it wasn't actually sold as a lining. It was sold as dressmaking material with a viscose in it, but it really did shift about when I was cutting it. So I did struggle a little bit trying to get the hem straight, but I think I've got it more or less straight enough for me anyway. And yeah, it's nice on the insides. The pattern didn't call for you to turn the hem under twice, but I just didn't like the look of it unfinished, so I've turned it under twice, and again I've hand stitched that. I just prefer the look of a hand stitch, and the buttons are just some buttons that I had in my stash. They just look like a basket weave, which kind of goes with the lining, if you like. Not that anybody's going to be looking at my lining and my buttons, but you know. So I'm actually really pleased with how that turned out. It was a bit of an impulse buy with this yellow. I don't think yellow's really a colour for me if I put it up against my face, but as a skirt I think it's absolutely fine. And again, I really think these two looked really quite nice together. You've just got that little bit of fleck of maybe an old gold in there. But again, I struggled to style it with the things that I've made. So onto the Mellow that I made, which is again some more Liberty print from the local market, and this time I went for the long sleeve. And you may notice that I've got them rolled up, and there's a reason for that. Because I didn't check the sleeve length. In fact, I'm not 100% sure the sleeve length's on the pattern, and they're about 2 inches too short for me. They come to about there. You live and learn, don't you? Now, I could, if I wanted to, chop the sleeves off, and I could either insert some more sleeves, I could just make it the cap sleeve version. But actually I don't mind them rolled up, and I wanted a long sleeve because we're going into sort of autumn winter now, so I wanted them to be long sleeves, so I'm just going to leave them. I've got enough fabric to make some more sleeves probably, but French seams, who wants to be bothered with unpicking French seams? So I've already made the Mellow before, which is the short sleeved one, and if you notice this is like a blue with tiny little bits of yellow in, which we're hoping will go with the skirt. And in theory it does go with the skirt. I love that blue together with that yellow, and it's got little bits of yellow in it. But I've put some footage in now of me wearing it, and the buttons on this Mellow and the buttons on this Ariel they just clash. It just doesn't go together at all. But other than that, love the Mellow. I will do a full review of the Mellow in another video, because I'm going to compare and contrast the Mellow against the Calais. The instructions are a little bit vague, I would say, but I like the outcome, and it produces a slightly more fitted shirt than the Calais does. My very last make is the Deer and Doe Plantain. See that there? This is a free pattern, so I went for the scoop neck and the long sleeves. Only the fabric that I had, I didn't have enough for the long sleeves, so I've bobbed a little cuff on the end, and these are long enough in the sleeve. I was just using a remnant of fabric and just testing out the sizing, because I've not made this pattern before. I absolutely love this jersey. I think it's cotton jersey. This was rescued out of a remnant bin ages ago, so that's why I had a limited amount of fabric, and it's really soft and it's just really comfortable. And I know it's only a plain white scoop neck top, but I've worn it loads already. In fact, both tops have worn a lot already. I just haven't worn them with the intended bottoms. That's the format garments that I've made in September, and so far of the work from home module. So I'm really struggling now of how to style them together. So I'm just going to insert some footage and just talk along and show you how I'm wearing them together. So to start off with, you've got the 4-in-1 trousers, the high-waisted trousers with the Plantain. And actually it doesn't look that bad. What I'm finding though is that the Plantain is actually not very fitted around the waist. It's actually loose under the bust, so you fit it across the shoulders, and then from the bust down it's quite loose fitting, which I do love as an individual garment if I'm wearing skinny trousers. But the point of the paper bag waist trousers, and although I've done away with the actual paper bag bit, is that they've got the pleats there, and you need something that shows off the pleats. So if I wear it untucked, that disguises the pleats and it just looks a bit shapeless. If I wear it tucked in, it blouses out too much. And like I say, it's not too bad on there and on the Ariel. So the Plantain's probably not as bad as I first initially thought. Onto the Mellow. Again, it doesn't look bad. It's just that it's blousing and it's drawing attention to a part of my body that I don't particularly want to draw attention to. So the paper bag waist trousers are sort of bringing me in at the waist, and everything else is making me look. It's making me look kind of bottom heavy in a way, and with that blousing, it just looks a bit awkward. I don't know. It's not the look I was going for, shall we say. I'm going to leaf out of Alex Judge's book and after I've made these bottoms, I've tried it on with various other things that I've already made that are in my wardrobe. So to start off with, I've got the Mandy Boat tee, just a striped tee, which I've attempted a French tuck. It's not really my thing, but it looks alright. It's one of those things that looks alright from the front, but at the back it looks a bit strange. Tucked in, it looks. I didn't think it looked great. Then I've got a ready-to-wear V-necked top, which is quite fitted. This is an ancient one from Sainsbury's, which is way too short in the sleeve for me. And I think out of all the things that I've tried on with both the Ariel and the trousers, that seems to me to look the best in that it's fitted throughout the body, and the V-neck just seems to give me a bit more balance. So I'm on the lookout for a t-shirt, preferably a free one or one that I already own, that looks a bit like that. I've got a sneaky suspicion that the Agnes from Tilly, the buttons would look quite good, but it's not a pattern that I own, and I don't really want to pay, I don't know if it's £12 or £14 for a basic t-shirt, so I might just have a little play around with some of the patterns that I've got and see if I can get that effect. Then next you've got this t-shirt that I'm wearing. This is the Elise tee, and this is a free pattern by Fine Motor Skills. Yeah, Fine Motor Skills. And this was a bit of a surprise actually. I thought it looked quite nice with both the Ariel and the trousers. If I get up close to the camera, you'll be able to see. It's just got that fleck. It's just got a fleck of mustardy yellow in it, along with the overall colour is blue, but it's just got that fleck of mustard in it, and I think it works. The shape of it works quite well. So potentially I could make another one of those. But it's not really t-shirt weather, is it? So obviously I'm going to be making another layering piece to go over all these. I've tried the Mellow in and out, and I've also tried it on with the Sew Over It Elsie top, which is like a denim blue, the same blue more or less as the Mellow shirt that I wore. Quite like those together with the trousers. And that's possibly a way of me wearing the Mellow with the trousers as a piece. And the work from home module, you can bring other garments in, whether you've made them or not. So I could get away with not making another one, and I can do that if I wanted to. So next I tried it on with the Seamwork Nina, which is actually a dress pattern, but I've just cut it off as a top. So it's a roll neck. Navy blue, a bit boring together, but with the Mellow over the top, I think it breaks it up a little bit. And then I tried my existing Calais over the Nina as well, and that was a surprising one because I find that Calais quite difficult to wear because it's cropped, and like I said before, I had planned on making another Calais, and for it to go with either of these it would have had to be the short version, but I'd planned on making it a little bit longer so I could tuck it in. But as it stands, I think probably another coloured top underneath the existing Calais would probably be better, that particular outfit, than another roll neck top probably would look better. The next I've got is a V-necked stripy top from, I think it's a Simplicity pattern, and I didn't think that looked too bad neither. I think the V-neck balances it, and I think the stripes look nice. I think it was just classic V-neck top. It's always going to look okay. It's not especially fitted through the body, isn't that one, but it didn't look too bad. It didn't have a lot of blousing. That is a little bit bobbly. It's a bit of an old one, is that? So it's, you know, it were okay, but I would probably be tempted to make another one, and I have got some more striped fabric actually. So next is the Chelsea raglan, which I thought in colour looked okay. That's the Chelsea raglan, which you've got the navy and you've got the gold on there as well. I think in theory it should look okay with the Ariel, but I'm not so sure with them together as a style. With the crop trousers, what it needed was more shaping here, which can be achieved by either shaping at the sides or fisheye darts down the back. But I'm still not convinced that in style that it was right for the trousers really. Then I tried on the Martha top, Pearson & Pope. I think she's changed her name. I think it's Michelle So's. I put a thing on the bottom to say who it is, but it was Pearson & Pope when I got the pattern. Quite like that with the trousers. Don't think it worked too well with the Ariel because you've got the stripe going down the front of the Martha and then the buttons off to the left on the Ariel. And I wasn't convinced that, but I quite liked it with the trousers. But again, a bit long and a little bit of a blousing going on. Next one was the Vera Venus top, which is a free top. You'll notice on the pictures that I've got 3 sort of teardrop shaped there, and that top you can do 3, or you can do 1, or you can do none. And I quite liked the shaping of that and the cropped and how it allowed you could see the detail of the tops of the trousers still without having to tuck it in. There was a little bit of blousing, but that is the shape of the top, and it is a really comfortable top, is that. But again, a little bit boring in that I'm wearing navy blue with navy blue, and it certainly wouldn't work with the fabric, the fabric that I've got, in that there isn't enough drape in it. But I do have other fabric that I could probably use for that. So then I tried it on with the Montevilla top, which you can see, and again a close up here, you've got these little flecks of sort of gold, browny gold going through it. I think that looked okay, but it still wasn't, style-wise, still wasn't doing it for me. And I think that's the problem, is that nothing was wowing me. I was a little bit underwhelmed, I suppose. So I love this top. I don't know if I've mentioned it before. This was upcycled from a skirt that I bought for £1, and I just love the colours in this. And it's just because it's obviously been washed quite a lot. It's lovely and soft. But yeah, and again we're going into winter, so it's not going to be very practical for autumn winter. And then I tried it on with this Mellow as well, which I had high hopes for this Mellow with the skirt with these little flecks of yellow in it. It did work better with the trousers actually. I didn't think it was too bad with the trousers. Then the surprise out of all of them really was I tried the Rhapsody on with the Ariel skirt, and I wasn't convinced that style was going to work because it's quite flared at the bottom. I didn't think it looked too bad actually. The colours were quite autumnal. It's short sleeves, short flutter sleeves, but I thought it looked okay with the Ariel. I didn't try it on with the trousers. I didn't think it would go with the trousers at all. But I didn't think it looked too bad with the skirt, so I might wear that together. So I think the winners out of that was the Sew Over at Edie, and the Plantain looked okay. Mellow that I've just made looked okay over the top of the Edie. Yeah. I'm still a little bit stuck with what to make for my third top. I think it's going to have to be something fitted and something with a bit of a V-neck that I can tuck in to both, because remember it's got to go with the skirt and the trousers. So for the topper, I was going to make a Sienna Maker's jacket out of this cotton, and if you can see, hopefully it's got a little bit of yellow going through it. I might still make that. Whether I get that finished before the end of October, I think it's unlikely. The reason I wanted to make it with that is that you've got your red going through, red and blue, going through, and although that's a black background and not a blue background, I think for a coat I think it's absolutely fine. And it's a cotton mix which I actually bought to make the Sienna Maker's jacket. So for my topper, for the challenge, I've actually bought some more fabric here, and this is like a cable knit effect, and I'm just going to do maybe a long line cardigan. So I think it's the same sort of tone as the Mellow. Goes nicely with the old gold, and obviously it goes with the navy. It's a work from home module, so I wanted something cosy, and then I'll concentrate on the coats a bit later on. I think the work from home capsule module's been a really good exercise in really thinking about more than what colours go together, which is kind of how I've always worked. It's a lot deeper than that, and it's more how styles go together and how fabrications go together as well. So like two different Mellows, they both looked completely different. You know, the Mellow with the buttons showing really didn't go with the Ariel, but looked fine with the trousers. And unbuttoned over the top of something else layered, it looked fine with the trousers as well. But it's been a really good exercise for me because it's not something I've thought too deeply about, really, or I have thought too deeply about it. it's just not worked. I do tend to stick with a colour palette of blue and put colours in with that, and I haven't deviated from that. This is me going mad putting red in like this. So if you've got any suggestions for either a fitted top that's going to go with the trousers and the Ariel that will be made with this fabric, more fitted than the Mellow, so it would have to be something. I have got a pattern that's got princess seams actually, but I don't really want to cut into this one on a new pattern, so I'd have to twirl it. And I'm fed up of twirling. I was hoping to just be able to cut into a cali, and I've done with it. Anyway, if you've got any suggestions for maybe a lycra, a jersey top or something like that would go to replace that V-neck white one, because it's too short in the sleeves anyway. I think that's the sort of style that's going the best. I've got some nice stripy fabric that will probably go with both outfits. I've got a fortnight off work, so hopefully I can play catch up a little bit. Alright, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I will speak to you later. Bye.